Uh, Good afternoon, students. Thank you so much for joining us again today for one of our sessions with one of the top professionals we have in the hotel industry and one of the top professionals under 40. So this can tell you a lot of what you can achieve in a very short time when you're dedicated. Today we have with us Guillermo Diaz Aliaga. He's known in the industry as Willie. Everybody calls him Willie. So even though his given name is Guillermo, we're gonna call him Willie.
Please do.
Please do, absolutely. So Willie is part of the ownership. He's a partner of RTM Hotels. He's part of the ownership family. He's not exactly the CEO. I say he's not the CEO yet, but he does share many of the CEO duties with the existing CEO. So I think he's going to give us a very good overview of everything you can do from a young chain that has positioned itself in Spain as one of the top leading hotel chains in so many aspects, and one that's really remarkable right now and that we have covered throughout the class, which is sustainability. Making the client and the employee happy, so many things. So, Willie, tell us, before we start with the questions,
Yes.
just tell us a little bit about yourself and your role in RTM Hotels, and then we will get more specific.
Okay. Well, first of all, Gonzalo, thank you for inviting me and letting me talk to your students via this cool video we're making right now. Well, I started 6 years ago now. I joined the family company in 2015 with no experience in the hotel industry. In the side of management, I did my internships in different areas of the business, but never took part in the management. I joined as a general manager of this hotel. I opened ARTIEM Madrid.
You said something very interesting for students. You said you did several internships before joining the family company. What type of internships were there?
I did really cool ones, to be honest.
Okay.
When I turned 16, I joined the sports and nature department.
Okay.
It's like an adventure department where we do sports activities, kayaking, paddling, surfing, mountain biking with the guests around Menorca. And as a 16-year-old, just being paid for doing sports is the coolest thing, no?
It is.
And then you get to know the teams within the company, you get to know the culture of the company, and well, you get to actually know the insides of the company, the grounds of the company. And then, as I said, I joined the real side of the business of what I've never done, which is managing a hotel. And it was a challenge for me because I did a few years of financial auditing. I did a few years of marketing and business analytics in Burger King, nothing to do with hotels, but gave me like a different point of view, a different mindset to look things from the other side, more in the side of the guest instead of looking the things from the side of the corporate side of the hotel. And well, that helped us to develop several different products.
Tell us about your products. Right now, RTM Hotel,
Yeah.
which is a Spain-based company.
Yes.
You have 5 hotels.
Yes.
But you didn't have 5. You started with.
We started with my dad started in 1993 with managing one hotel and a set of apartments in Menorca. Then he bought the biggest hotel we have, which is 241 rooms, also in Menorca. Then 2012, we rented another or a third hotel, also in Menorca, 85 rooms. And then when I joined, we rented and completely redid this building, 83 rooms, and then 2000
Here in Madrid?
Here in Madrid, sorry, yeah. And then in December 2017, we bought a 5-star hotel in Asturias, in the north of Spain.
In the north of Spain, yeah. We have been talking to our students throughout the course how this, I don't like to say secondary destinations, but destinations that were probably not those gateway cities that always come to mind to travel, have been receiving an increase of interest throughout the years, even prior to the COVID pandemic. And we know that now that's exactly what clients are seeking. So I'm very interested in asking you a question. You've done a great job also marketing wise. I have to say congratulations. We'll cover that because in very few years, ARTIEM Madrid right now ranks as number 3 out of number 2 in TripAdvisor out of more than 460 hotels in Madrid. There's so many amazing 5 stars in destinations, and they don't even make the top 100. So that's a great achievement, and there's a lot of work behind. But before we get into that, I know that RTM Hotels, it's not just a company that manages hotels, but that it's in the business of happiness. Creating happiness, not just for the client who is staying in the hotel, I think that's obvious, but also for the employee, for the person who works in the hotel. Tell us a little bit more about this philosophy of being in the business of happiness.
Well, for us, being a family business, I think it's more common sense than anything else. I mean, just treat the others like you want to be treated, or you want someone to treat your family. But I mean, it's well known in this industry. Richard Branson says it. The guest is not the first. Your employee is the first. No, if you treat your employee the best, he will treat your guest the best.
Makes sense.
It's very easy. I mean, very easy. Not always very easy, but we try to make it very easy. We have.
Is there a process for this?
Yes
or
and no.
It's just a mentality.
It's processality.
Okay.
As I said, we're a family business, small business. We've done things because we always did it, and now we're starting to make everything a process. We have a mission, which is inspire people happiness. We have values, and we take all our decisions taking into account those values. It's not, we have 6 values, and they're not in a paper, in a wardrobe or in a.
But could you tell us what those values are?
Yeah, first of all is, well, I have to translate them in my head to English. But,
okay.
Trust.
Trust.
We base all our relationships in trust. Leadership. We encourage everyone to take action. In Spanish, we say I think it's also said in English. Better say sorry than asking for permission. In a healthy way, I have to say.
That's what I tell you students in class, to take the initiative.
Exactly.
Don't wait for other people. Don't wait for me to tell you what you have to do. Take the initiative.
Exactly. We encourage our teams to be their own leaders, because they at the end of the day, they are our ambassadors everywhere they go, or every engagement they do with any guest. No, they're representing the brand. They're representing our family. So we want them to be owners of their own actions. And it's very important for us. And then we have inclusivity, taking into account what you said about sustainability. We just got certified by B Corp. We are now in we're the first, I have to say it right, we're the first hotel chain in Europe to be certified as a B Corp.
Do you mind explaining our students what the B Corp, I know about it, what the B Corp certification is? Which is a very big deal.
Yeah, it's starting to grow a lot now. In Spain, I think it's last year, over 4,000 companies tried to get the certificate.
They applied,
and only 90 got the certificate. And it's it's not a certificate. I like saying it's a community of companies that work for a better world. I mean, I know it sounds very
No. I like
utopic,
it.
but everything we do, as I mean, continuing with what I was explaining before, everything what we do, it's not for the sake of getting money. It's for the sake of trying to make a positive impact and getting money as a reward.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like
A positive impact on the community.
exactly, yeah. Because sustainability is not only recycling, it's also taking into consideration that when you put a hotel somewhere, your business might affect other businesses. You can make synergies with the shop around the corner. You can send your guests there to buy anything they need. You can work with the restaurant around the block and you can help many people by doing your business in the right way. You can also affect in a negative way many people if you don't do it, you know, trying to make that positive impact I was speaking.
That's very good, Willie, and I think this is the future this is the key for success for hotel groups. Back to your role, you have covered several positions throughout the years. You have done hotel openings.
Mm-hmm.
You learned so much about hotel openings. You have been general manager of 2 properties, a 4-star and a 5-star. You have been director of sales. Can you tell us a little bit about and take your time each experience?
Mm-hmm.
And it's I think it's good. Obviously, each person it's different. Every profile is different. There's room for everybody. But what you enjoyed the most about being a general manager, which is mostly operations, mostly. What do you enjoy the most about being director of sales, which is mostly about selling. Let's be realistic. And what do you enjoy the most now that you're in a top management position that we could call CEO or assistant CEO?
What I loved.
What do you enjoy the most and the least? It's interesting.
Well, the least is being the one that knew the less or the least.
Okay, let's start
But-
with the general manager.
Yeah, no, it's that applies in all the roles. But what I loved as a general manager is like being able to set up a team that was like according to our culture and to our philosophy as a company, but that they were way better, and they knew way a lot more than I did, and being able to learn from them and taking decisions with them to make our guests like really live an experience that they weren't expecting, because we were a 4-star hotel that nobody knew. We're in the outskirts of the city. We were in the bottom line of the bottom rank of TripAdvisor in Madrid, and in 7 months we managed to be top 3.
Wow.
In a year we made it to top 1. Now we're fighting top 1, top 2, top 3, and yeah, just learning every day and having to or being able to live in the hotel a different day every day. Because as a general manager or I think in any position, if you work in operations in a hotel, every day is different. No days are the same, and you learn so many different things every day. So I think that's the most exciting.
So basically, what you're telling me, there's not a normal day in operations. Every day is a new experience. You did talk about empowering your employees and probably making them realize that they had more potential than they knew initially.
Yeah, because my job as a general manager was making myself not necessary in the hotel. Wow. I wanted them not to feel the need to ask, Willie, should we do this or that? I mean, obviously, there's just many times that you need to take the final decision, right? But I think it's very important because you cannot be there for 24/7. So, and you make their jobs more interesting, because at the end of the day, if you're at the front desk and you don't have to be only doing check-ins, check-outs, and on the computer, you can do so much more, and you can impact in so much more, in so many different ways than just being at the front desk.
Wow, what a passionate GM. It's not every day that you run into a GM with this vision. That's very good. You've also covered the director of sales aspect for a group of hotels. It's very interesting because you have hotels that are very leisure driven, others like the one where you and I are today in Madrid, in an area of Madrid, as you say, in the outskirts, that's very much corporate driven. Then you have a hidden gem in the north of Spain that also interacts a lot with wellness. You also have wellness in Menorca. How do you sell a product that is so diverse?
It's very interesting because everyone asks us the same question. Because when we say we're going to open a new hotel, that's happened 3 times, is that I've been able to impact or have any decision with it. And we just try to demonstrate or to show everyone that it's not about the hotel, it's about the culture you put within the hotel. Obviously, we are here, we don't have a beach here, we don't have the sea, we don't have a spa, but
But you're number 2 in the city.
Yeah. But the thing is that what I want you to feel in my hotels is that you are safe, you're home, you don't have to worry about anything. You're gonna come out from my hotel with the biggest smile that you came in with. Regardless, you are at the beach, you came here for work, you came to Asturias because you were in a car show running around the roads of the north, or you came with your couple, with your loved one to have a romantic getaway. Yeah. I mean, obviously, travel agents have to sell those so-called commodities. No, amazing beds, a huge spa, amazing bar, delicious 5-star restaurant. Any company or any hotel with a lot of money can have that, but not the soul. I mean, for me, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna get out of a bit of the conversation, but okay. I stayed in a hotel, 4-star hotel last weekend with my girlfriend and her family, and we were having breakfast. And now with the COVID situation, right, it's not as we used to have it before,
right? And it's like assisted.
Yeah, and the first waiter we had was a bit like he didn't. What I felt is that he wasn't liking his job. He wasn't doing it because he wanted it, because he needed the job, and he wasn't putting enough passion in it. And so for that, he was giving us answers or serving us in a way that, for me, the experience was not being as I like or as I enjoy, right? But then before getting out the breakfast room, another guy came to us, and he was a lower degree than the other waiter. He was helper.
Okay.
But he came to ask us, am I going to see you tomorrow? And we said, no, we're leaving today. And he started to that small talk that made that feeling, or starting a relation, but you have to move emotions of your guests. It doesn't matter if you have...
I like that. You have to move the emotions of your guests. And you said passion before. I like those words.
Yeah, because as I said, anyone with money can build an amazing hotel, the best glassware, the best everything. But if the hotel doesn't have a soul and people loving the soul of the hotel, it's gonna go bankruptcy, or someone with more money is gonna come and buy it and make it better.
I agree, and you brought a very interesting topic when you said soul. I think ARTIEM hotels, it's not just good because they have a soul, but they have done a really great job in transmitting to the community, to the markets, to the different segments, to the client, to the media, how they have, what is that soul? The message. I always tell you, you all have an assignment that you're presenting in the next few weeks. One of these students, their assignment is ARTIEM Madrid, by the way. So I'll keep you informed about how that goes. I don't remember who, but it's a very engaged student, like most of them are. And it's about what is my history. I always start. We all have beds, mini bars, blah, 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 blah. The location is what it is. Obviously, you have to inform it. But what is your story? What is your, maybe you don't have a history because it's the history, it's a very new building. But what's the soul of the hotel? What is the story of the hotel? And RTM Hotels has done an amazing job communicating this message. We can call that marketing, we can call that PR, we can call that social media, which is part of PR. Can you tell us, by the way, I just posted myself and did some social media for you.
Thank you.
Because it's the least that I can do to thank you for this time. Can you tell us a little bit about the marketing and PR efforts behind the success of RTM informing about this, about your concept, about your story, about your soul? Because everybody knows you. You're only 5 hotels, but you're so well known.
I think, I mean, from what I know, for us, what's worked the best is like just being honest and humble. Like my father, the CEO of the company, never wanted to share what we're doing. Like it's been people sharing what we do instead of being us who are the ones who share. It's true that in the past 5-6 years, I'd say, we started sharing more what we do, how we do it, why we do it, but the most important thing is to have the people you work with or the guests to share it, and of course, first doing and then saying, not saying and then maybe doing, because that's that's so-called greenwashing, for example,
Right.
Or the values that I was saying before. For us, it's more like we do first, and then we say what we do.
It's what did Richard Nixon, president of the U.S., used to say? Oh, the people, let them eat promises. Here it's the opposite. You execute first, and then you show. But obviously, there's a great effort in marketing and PR.
We have a great team working in the headquarters in Menorca. We work with 2-3 external 8 marketing agencies. And
this is interesting because I have explained to my students that many of these aspects of the business are many times outsourced. So when you work with when you outsource agencies, how do you identify the one that you want? What do they do for you exactly?
It's a very complicated thing.
I know.
For example, I'd love to have everyone in-house, but since we are a small family-owned business, we cannot afford to have that many people so specialized in designing or graphic designing or copywriting. So we need those external companies, right? For example, our main marketing help is a lady, so to say, or a girl from Menorca that she's been working with us for the past 25-30 years. So she knows us.
She's gonna love that you're calling her a girl then.
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
She's Kathy, in case you see this video, I'm talking about you. She's helped to create what we are, the branding, our copies. She's grown with us. So it's very easy for her to understand when I send her a brief or say, Kathy, we need this, how would you do it? She can just think straight away. And if we had to change that, her instead of being her, being someone else, it would take years, I think. So I cannot answer your question properly. It's a matter of trust, as I said, our first value.
It's trust and somebody who really understands your message. You mentioned a very interesting word, which is branding. Obviously, a company of 5 hotels does not have the resource that Marriott has with thousands and thousands of hotels worldwide. Yet, especially domestically and little by little also more internationally, the RTM brand is resonating. What do you do to communicate the brand? What does your brand stand for?
I think our brand is just, well, as I said, our mission is to inspire people happiness, but it's just being very easygoing. What we call our fresh people, no?
Fresh people.
Fresh people. We're fresh people. We're like people who enjoy what we do, enjoy our work, enjoy our life, try to have a, like, so to say, a healthy lifestyle, are very positive and open-minded, and just try to enjoy everything you do. That's our people's mindset. What we are our top to be, no? What we want to be. But for example, if you see our branding is very simple, very, it's nothing very rococo or 5-star with white gloves and silverware.
Yeah, it's elegant yet simple.
Yeah. Mediterranean. That's what we. That's
Mediterranean.
What
Also, you were talking about the lifestyle.
Mediterranean
Lifestyle. I'm also Mediterranean. It's our lifestyle. It's a good combination of healthy lifestyle, of work, obviously, with a good complement with leisure. Let's talk a little bit more about sustainability.
Yes.
I think you have received before this B Corp certification. You have received awards on sustainability. You've been kind of pioneers, because it's like you were ahead of the trends of the industry. Like right now, and we've covered this a lot in class. The client of the future being as soon as tomorrow, is looking up for safety, is looking for many things. But one of the top things that clients, and not just B2C, the client, but the B2B, there's many agencies, that travel agencies, that if not right now, moving forward, we will all see that they will not work with your product if you don't have some kind of sustainable standards. What made RTM be a pioneer in the world of sustainability, and what have you done? What can you talk about it?
What made us do that? I think it's
common sense, yeah. But
no. I think it's mainly two things. First of all, as I said a few times already, it's a family-owned business, and it's the values we grew up with. And second, I think since we're from Menorca is a small island with very limited resources. We tried since the beginning to have a positive impact in the island, right? Not only in the island in the trees or in the water, but also in the people.
Well, first of all, you're also creating a lot of jobs.
Exactly, yeah. However, we measure almost everything we can measure. We have objectives by, for example, our objective per person, the usage of water of our guests is 150 liters per person per day. So we measure the liters that our guests use.
Wow.
We measure the.
What else do you measure? That's interesting.
Everything. Energy. We measure the compost. How to say in English? The waste.
Dilo en español.
El orgánico. We measure how much organic.
The waste.
Organic waste we have per guest. We've refurbished one of the facades of one of the hotels with solar panels. We've built.
You have a solar panel in one of your hotels, so you're telling me that you're using the resources or the locations of your hotels for new energies.
Yeah, so we had several tennis courts that were not being used a lot, so we turned them into solar panel areas.
Wow.
We do many things.
Tell us.
If I had known this question, I would have prepared more.
I mean, whatever you can think of.
I don't know. For example, it's very interesting. In the early 90s, when my dad started the company, We were one of the first in Spain. I mean, now for me it's very common to say it. I guess for everyone in the class, but the card that you can put on the bed that you want your bed sheets changed. Before, the norm was that 4-star hotels would change it every day or every 2 days. But I mean, I don't know you, but myself at home, I don't change it every day. I change it
I don't.
once a week. And your average stay in Menorca 10, 15 years ago was 5-6 days. So why would you have to change 5 times the sheets of the bed instead of changing them whenever the guest wanted?
Right.
That meant 30% of all our expenditures in water, for example, for laundry.
Wow.
Tons of kilos for the cleaning staff or the housekeeping, the housekeeping staff to move. You know how many kilos of bed sheets they have to move every day? How much relief is for them not to move all those? I mean, it's one decision can improve all your operations, all your sustainability, your financials. So it's being sustainable is not always bad. It's very
Absolutely, and you're doing a great job about it. There's a word I never like the word charity. I always think the word charity means to give something that you don't need. I like words such as impact on the community, social work, solidarity. You have many actions, and specifically, we were just an hour ago, we were just discussing an action or a program about it. Can you tell us what RTM Hotels is doing in this regard?
About that project in
that project in particular, I think it's a good one.
Particular?
But if you have more to share,
many. I mean, we do. For example, a thing we started a few years ago here in Madrid is we work with the Down Syndrome Association of Madrid. We give them cooking lessons here in the hotel once a week or twice a month. Sorry.
Nice.
So there's a group of people that comes here. We our staff pro bono time. They do it because they want, and we just give them the
pro bono means free for those you don't understand.
And now, for example, that with this the COVID situation, the chef of the hotel said, "Hey, I still want to do it, even though we cannot get all together in the kitchen, but I'm going to do it online." So willingly, he said, "I want to do it. I'll do it from the hotel, and if the other kids can connect from home." And many other projects, but the one in particular you were talking about is called the Solidarity Room.
The Solidarity Room. That's an interesting concept.
Yes.
Tell us a bit more about it.
It started when we closed for the first time our 5 hotels. We never had everything closed. I mean, in Morocco, it's common to have some of the hotels a few months closed because they are seasonal, but not the others, no? But now we have, I'm talking April last year, 5 hotels closed, 177 people in ERTE, I don't know how to say it. Furlough, sorry. And so here's the managing team or the board. We say, well, my dad cut off his salary to 0. We willingly cut our salary by 50%. All of us, the 5, 6, we were still in the office, and we were thinking how to come back in the most positive way we were able to, know. And we said, my dad called it the crazy idea, which was to give to an NGO, Caritas,
a non-profit
organization, everything, all the revenue we did in the opening of the hotels when we come back.
Wow.
And that seemed pretty crazy.
So it's all the profit
of the weekend of the opening from the 5 hotels. And
that's a lot of money.
Yeah, even more if you've been closed for 4 months. But then I said, it's a very cool and crazy idea, and it's gonna have a huge positive impact. But how can we do it for not to be just in one concrete moment in the year. How can we make it extendable or like durable throughout the whole year and be profitable? Because it's not about giving up your business for giving out all the money. So that's how it came out, the solidarity room. So we have every day in all of our hotels one solidarity room. For example, here in ARTIEM Madrid is the 405. So we go upstairs, you can see the sign solidarity room.
So whatever the client pays for the room,
that room, it goes directly to we donated 100% to Caritas. And so we made the calculation with Caritas. And
every day?
Yeah. So it's five rooms per day.
Wow.
In our company.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. And
good.
We made the calculation. It's every 10 euros we can a family in a vulnerable situation can be fed with only 10 euros. So every 10 euros is 1 day of
feeding a family.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a great initiative. Congratulations for that. Well done. One of the last classes we were looking at, we're going to switch a little bit to business development because, as you said, you started with one property, then you had 3 in Menorca, then you went to mainland Spain, you opened a hotel in the capital of the country, which is Madrid, then you went to the north. During our last in-person class, we were looking at the financial analysis of business development, how you put like the investors and the operators, why do you decide to open a hotel here instead of there, how do you identify an opportunity, what type of studies you have to do once you have decided on an opportunity before you open a hotel. Can you tell us a little bit about the development aspect of the business in RTM hotels? Like how you found this hotel, for example, how
I can tell you a couple of things.
Okay.
First thing I'm going to tell you, every time we've opened a hotel, before we've opened it, everyone said, these guys from RTM are crazy. They don't know what they're doing. Second is like trust.
Why do you think they said that?
Because they don't see what we see, or what we think we see. I mean, I'm not saying we're...
Well, you're being successful, so you're...
Or we're being lucky, we don't know yet. We'll see in the next
I think
project.
you're being hard working.
Yeah, that's true. But, I mean, yeah, we're crazy. We trust our gut feeling, and we believe in what we do. We believe in what we see. Because, being honest, when I was working in Burger King 2015, January, February, I remember my dad sending me the webpage of what it used to be this hotel. It was called Arturo Soria Suites. It was an apart hotel. It was horrible.
It was worn down, and something inside you said, "No way."
And I said,
"We can transform this."
No. He said, "Willie, trust. Trust me. I have something in mind." But my first impression was saying, like, "Oh my God, what are you doing? Like, that's not gonna work." But then when you see what he sees, and then you start also seeing what he's seeing, and you help develop an idea and bring it down, and
so obviously there's vision.
Yes,
you must have vision.
You must have vision, or at least someone that helps you to bring it down. Because you can also have a lot of vision, but if there's no one to bring it down to earth, it's very complicated. Execute it. Yeah. And I mean, we try to find projects that have been like worn down, but have potential. We don't necessarily believe in location, as you can see with this hotel. Although we have very good locations in Menorca, I have to say, but not particularly here. So
basically, you're telling me that you think it's not about always having the best location or the city center location. You can. I always like the concept of making the hotel a destination itself, and I think that's something you've been very successful at, and that many clients and many repeat clients that your hotels have, they don't mind if the hotel is not maybe in the very center,
No,
because
I mean,
of what they're getting.
luckily we've had many repeating guests, or in this case, corporate guests that asked to their companies, I want to stay in RTM. I'm not going to Madrid if I'm not going to RTM. But that's because of the feeling you get when you are here. Like, it's like being at home. You have the best gym equipment, but you also have very nice people that will get out of their way to make anything or to give you anything you need to make you feel at home. And that makes a lot of difference because I've stayed in many hotels, better location, better setup, better bars, better more stars. And if the people that's inside the hotel doesn't want you to be there or doesn't make you feel to be wanted there, uh, you can be in Gambia, you can be in the Sahara Desert. It doesn't make no difference.
Absolutely, absolutely. Before we go into COVID and reinvention, you mentioned corporate repeat guests. How different is the corporate client from the leisure client? Because that's something we've talked. I have a sales background, so we talked a lot in class about how to target if when you're selling and you're marketing, leisure segment, corporate segment, my segment, group segment. What's your different? What's your take about? Because you've dealt with obviously both corporate and leisure. How are they different? What can you tell the class about your experience with both?
What I can tell you is that them both, corporate and leisure, want their lives made easy. So that's a very common thing they have both, no? For example, corporate guest, no, the corporate guest normally stays shorter and only stays at the hotel for sleeping. Leisure guests normally stay more or do more things within the resort or the hotel.
They use more of the services.
They use more of the services and facilities, yeah. But also, we are lucky to have corporate guests that enjoy being in the hotel at the lobby. They don't stay in the room, so you have more of a social life, which you don't have in all corporate hotels. No, all corporate guests are or want that kind of lobbies. But for us, it's very important that our guests also share our mindset or our way to see things, no? Because so it's easier to make them understand what we do, how we do things, and why we do things. And the same happens with leisure guests. For example, I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't be happy having a guest that stays 10 days, and the 10 days in my hotel he just wastes water and make other guests to be uncomfortable or. I mean, I want my guests to be in a similar mindset or similar way that we believe or we act. No?
And I think you have two hotels that they're adults only,
Yes.
and one that's almost
adult friendly.
Adult friendly.
Yeah. I mean, not in our.
Why do you think this concept is being popular within the last years, and clients appreciate it? The demand.
Because this is the thing I always say. There's no bad hotels. There's just bad selling agents. Meaning that there's always the right hotel for the right person.
Right. That's good.
So if I go with my girlfriend to a hotel, I will not choose a hotel which has a kids club or a kids pool or kids activities.
Right. There's other products for that.
Exactly.
Right.
So we felt that our hotels didn't have the facilities or the areas that kids would enjoy. If we would have had them, we would have been kids friendly. But we started with wellness, we started with sports, we started with cool gastronomy and cool bars. So we didn't feel that kids were necessary around. So we were the first. I'd like to say we were the first hotel in the Balearic Islands to be adults only.
And many have followed.
And many have followed. At the beginning, we were very criticized. We'll go crazy again. but we had a vision and we trusted in what our vision was.
Obviously, you always have to be very aware of what your niche market is, and your niche market is based on what the product that you have. And maybe you said, okay, maybe I have an amazing hotel and an amazing location, but I don't have maybe the size to be able to offer kids everything they want. So let's focus on a niche market and just be really good at that one. Thank you. It's interesting. We obviously must address how, obviously, we all know that the COVID pandemic has transformed for bad right now, but hopefully for better in the future, the travel industry, the hotel industry. Before we go into the measures, which is something that I want to cover, has it helped you innovate? Because I hear you doing like co-working spaces. How have you innovated how has COVID, let's go to the positive side of it. How has COVID helped the COVID pandemic, the COVID times, help you think outside the box and innovate and maybe create new products? Like new products, like new services
Well, obviously we've had to modify a lot of the services, right? For example, our breakfasts use or are here, for example, in Madrid, in Menorca, in Asturias as well. One of our top, one of the top things that guests enjoy the most, and we've had to improve in our operations in order not to need more people, but also guarantee the health and safety for our guests and not having less quality in our service. We just try that the guest doesn't feel the lack of warmness that we used to have in hotel service. Also, what happens in the front desk now, you have in most of the places this plastic shield between
separating
the two people, but we try to make that experience. We try that the guest doesn't feel that separation between the two people, just having a conversation and someone inviting the other one in our house, which is the hotel.
Okay. This question just came to my head. What's been harder, or what's more costly? Is there a big financial investment behind COVID safety protocols? For example, if you're going to a buffet, it's easier if you have to pick something that if it's assisted and somebody has to give it to you. Is there a financial cost to that, or your cost has been training and changing the mentality of your employees? Has that been hard? What did you find more challenging about all of this change?
The most
From an operational point of view.
Well, first of all, from my point of view,
Yeah.
the most challenging aspect of all these changes has been all the last minute changes or all the last minute laws that were coming up, like week by week, that you needed to change all your protocols within few days, and that's easy if you only have one hotel or you are in one comunidad autónoma. But if you have hotels in three different ones, and the three states, the three
regions have their own
different guidelines, and you have only one operations guy, he just goes crazy because you have to train 15 different teams in 15 different ways. And as you said before, we're not married, we're just ARTIEM hotels, a small family-owned business, and that was the most challenging though. Although that helped us a lot to teach us to be more reactive, just like be on the spot at the minute we need it, and that showed us also the commitment that our people has with the company, that they supported us in every moment, any change we needed to do. They were there, they wanted to be there, and that was the most rewarding thing of everything of this situation, I have to say.
Good. That's interesting. Thank you for sharing that. I also wanted to ask you, since you did bring up, well, I brought up Marriott, then you brought up Marriott. uh, RTM with 5 hotels, even though it is a chain, it's not an independent hotel. We could call them independent because they're still a small group. Probably, I'm sure it's going to grow internationally in the future. But what do you think makes a client choose an independent property such as RTM over a big brand like Marriott or Hilton or Meliá or what is it from your point of view?
If I'm putting myself on the side of the guest,
Yeah.
if I choose a big brand, is because I want to know what I'm going to get. I mean, if you choose Meliá collection,
Yeah.
NH collection, sorry, you know what you're going to get for sure because they have their own standards in thousands or hundreds of hotels, and they have to have that. When you choose a small brand or a small private chain, it's because you're looking for more authentic, or you're more curious to get to know different and newer things, more singular.
More flavor.
Flavor, yeah.
I always say maybe that an independent boutique property, not necessarily boutique, an independent property usually interacts more with the community because it's less standardized.
Exactly, less standardized and more free to do what they want to do. Because many hotels from big brands, they would love to do things within the community, but brand standards won't allow them to do because they have to follow some rules, right? Because not everyone can do what they want when they belong to a big family. So I believe, exactly as you were saying, that small brands or independently owned hotels are or could or have the easier chance to be more authentic and be more integrated within the community, and you can live more that community when you go to the hotel.
As an owner, CEO of a smaller brand or an independent hotel brand, are you worried from a business point of view that there seems to be a lot of merging in the markets? We see that many brands we see it, for example, most of the travel agency groups in our country, they're merging. Are you somehow concerned about this merging? And therefore, because obviously when Marriott acquired Starwood a couple of years ago, if they had, I don't know how many thousands of hotels, then they had double those thousands of hotels. Are you concerned, or you think that on the contrary, the value aspect of the independent or small chain is
I firmly believe that when there's no challenges, you don't improve or you don't evolve. So all this merging and all this making someone else bigger than you makes you think different.
Right.
Makes you work harder to get where we are right now, and also makes it hard for us to stay where we are because we want to be on top. And playing with the big guys, it's never easy, but it makes you stronger, although we're little.
playing with big guys makes you stronger. I agree. I mean, I've worked for independent hotels most of my life. I love and respect the big chains. I use them sometimes, but I feel more passionate about the independents, probably because of many of the things that we have been discussing. So, some parting words. We have students in this class that really have a passion for hotels and the travel industry. I always tell them, I wish it had been another year because I'm usually very optimistic and enthusiastic. This year it's harder, but the industry is gonna come back. Would you recommend any of these students? And some of them, they have told me that they would really want to work. Many of them are graduating soon. I mean, you're pretty young, so how would you encourage or not young people to come and work in this industry?
I would only encourage them to work in this industry if they love it, because otherwise they're gonna hate it even more. Because working in hospitality, it means a lot of commitment, many hours, but as I said, if you love it, if you love what you do, you won't realize those long hours, or you won't realize those late nights or early mornings. I mean, because in hospitality you don't have a normal schedule Monday, Friday, 9 to 6. It's whenever you have to, you have to. So if you love it, go for it. If not, run away from it.
And especially you must love people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because you're interacting with people every day.
Mm-hmm.
Willie, on behalf of IE University, all the students in hospitality management overview class, and the rest of the team on IE, I thank you for the time you dedicated to us.
My pleasure.
It's been very informative, and if there's anything else you'd like to add?
No, just come see me, guys, and I'll have a chat, and I'll invite me to your class. And
Absolutely. ARTIEM Madrid, Arturo Soria area, north of Madrid, number 2 in TripAdvisor. Let me go back to this again. How were you able to go to get number 2 in TripAdvisor? We've discussed TripAdvisor. It's so hard. I was talking to a hotel in Andalusia last week, and it's an amazing product, but they're not doing well in TripAdvisor. And how did you do it in such a short amount of time? You did it, and you've been able to maintain it.
That's the most.
That's the hardest maintaining.
Because then, I mean, when we got to the top 3 in the first 6-7 months, everyone started saying, "Yeah, but it's because you have very few comments. It's because you're only been there for."
That's not the
months.
case anymore. It's
No,
years.
we have almost over 1,000 commentaries, and 6 years of being in the top 3. So it's just everything the same again. Loving what we do, and trying to share that with our guests and the people we work in the hotel.
Absolutely. Thank you. What's your don't leave me in a bad place. What is your preference in when we're doing distribution and we're selling? There's different channels, right? There's the OTA, the booking.com. Como me dejes mal. There's the website booking engine. There's the tour operator. There's the call center. We love them both, but what do hoteliers prefer?
I mean, our own sales are always priority, but
okay.
on the side of the small hotelier, I'm trying to change the mindset of my team, because they see, for example, the OTAs as the enemy, because they steal our guests, and I'm trying to convince them that first visitors or first time guests are what we have to get from OTAs. Then we have to convert into direct.
That's a very good. Obviously, they're not the enemy, because first of all, they're giving us great visibility,
exactly, global visibility,
and they're sending us business. Yeah, they charge a big commission,
then but
they also invest.
We have to work on convert it to direct. That's our jobs. If we are not being able to do it right, it's not their fault; it's our fault.
Great parting words. Thank you so much for everything again.
My pleasure. Bye.